Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Monthly Breathwork. Hope everyone's doing well. Hello to everyone joining me live, and hello to anyone watching the replay. I hope you're really, really well. If you don't know me already, my name is Georgie, and tonight's theme is expansiveness. So, like I said in my email, it's all about going from that portrait mode vision to that panoramic viewpoint, that wider, more expansive view of the present moment. We're going to do a few things to make that happen: expanding the body, loosening the body, expanding the lungs by getting that free flow of air going, and thus then really expanding the mind. We're going to work to regulate the breath to increase that blood flow going to the brain, going to all those vital organs, to those muscles to revitalize, but also to bring better coherence between head and heart. I like to say between what we think and what we know, right? They talk about your two brains, your gut brain and your thinking brain. And quite often actually this one is a lot more intelligent and makes a lot more sense than this one up here, which talks a lot of crap, right? Most of the time, 95% of those thoughts now are known to be repetitive, useless and unproductive, and only the other 5% are those actual aha, actionable, positive thoughts. And so by doing this work that we're going to do tonight, not only do we relax, not only do we come back home to our authentic self, we get more of a perspective on where we're starting from, and also more of a perspective on what we really desire, what we really want, where we actually are in this present moment, and how we want to move ourselves forward. So let's get breathing, guys. Find yourself a nice comfortable seat. We are going to do this practice seated for now. We're going to do a bit of lying down at the end with a visualization, but let's start moving. Let's start by invigorating the body. No matter what day you've had, no matter what's gone on today, leave it outside the room. We're going to work through it. We're going to get some blood flowing, and we're going to get that energy moving. So any stagnant energy, any frustration, any stress you might be feeling today, now is the time to sit down, to take a breath, to take some space, and to let all that go. Anything that's no longer serving you, please leave it in this practice. And I hope you walk away feeling more expansive, rejuvenated, and a lot more spacious in both body and mind. So find a nice comfortable seat. You can be sat on a chair or you can be sat on the floor. If cross-legged isn't comfortable for you, no worries. Just make sure you can remain nice and open and expansive in your body, okay? So let's come to a place where the crown of the head is balanced over the center of the pelvis. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back, we're not over to one side. We're nicely balanced. Everything is stacked, everything is working in harmony together. Again, if those points in the day that might have been a bit stressful have thrown you out of balance, they might also throw you out of alignment. So come back to that harmonious place where everything is working together. Let's imagine a string lifting us up from the top of our head, lengthening the spine, finding a little more space between each vertebrae. Let's relax those shoulders away from the ears, maybe even give the shoulders a little bit of a roll straight away. Notice, is it difficult to roll those shoulders, or is it quite easy tonight? Everyone's going to have a different experience. Everyone's starting from a different place, but just notice. Good. Check the belly is soft. Maybe even give it a little bit of a touch. Just notice, give it permission to let go, release. Give the fingers a lengthen and a wiggle. If you're really feeling a bit of stagnant energy there, if you're here very agitated or irritated today, give the hands a bit of a shake. Let any of that stagnant energy go. If not, just keep them moving in that nice slow flow. Again, I give lots of options in my practice because everyone is starting from a different place, and so everyone's going to need something different. Okay, beautiful. Let's get that energy, that blood, that oxygen flowing to those extremities. Gorgeous. Pop those hands to rest on top of your knees, and let's release front, sides and back of the pelvis, finding expansion, making space right in that pelvic floor. We can hold so much tension in that pelvic region. Fun fact I found out last week is that London is the most constipated city in the entire world because they hold so much stress and agitation in their pelvic region. And you know exactly where I mean, right? Yeah. So much emotion and stress is held there. So right now, give yourself permission to let it go. Not too much, of course, but relax. Let it go, expand that pelvic floor. Feel your sit bones in full contact with the earth, with the ground, floor, chair, whatever is supporting you, whatever is underneath you. Surrender, sink into that space. And just take a moment. Become aware of the space behind your head, behind your shoulders. Find that length once again. Now we found that relax. Good. And straight away, let's start to breathe optimally to serve our bodies and minds in this practice right from the get-go, giving ourselves the best practice possible to really, really serve us in this moment. So gently bringing your lips together, placing the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and starting to breathe light, slow, and low in and out through your nose, and noticing the breath. Allowing the breath to start to become your anchor of focus. And I'd like you to leave your eyes open for now. Just taking a soft focus with your eyes, allowing that gaze to dim lightly. You know, on your phone, when you dim the light, the brightness, can you do that with your own eyes right now? Noticing how that feels, noticing actually how much control you do have over your experience when you put your mind to it. And just allowing your attention to drift onto the inflow and outflow of the breath, noticing the natural rhythm of your breath, the natural quality of your breath. Noticing what your breath is telling you about where you are in this present moment. No need to try and control it, no need for there to be any logic behind it. Just notice. Just be the benevolent observer of the inflow and outflow of your breath, something that happens around 24,000 times a day, that often we pay no attention to. So what happens when you notice it? Do you notice any shifts in the sensations of your body as you allow the mind to quieten? As you allow the breath to soften? As you allow the body to surrender to what is? Sitting in this moment without trying to achieve anything, without trying to control anything, without trying to be anything or anyone, just being. In your purest form, that is just a human being breathing. Just sitting and breathing. That's all we're doing right now. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, no one to show up as, simply breathing. Let's expand our awareness a little bit more now. Start to become aware of the sensations of your body. Really hone in on all of those feelings circling around your inner system right now. Do you feel warm? Do you feel cold? Do you feel buzzing, tingling? Does your body feel heavy? Does your body feel tight? Does your body feel quite floaty and free and light? Notice, just notice. Again, everyone's experience will be different. We're all starting from a different place, but we're all heading towards the same destination, right? Which is clarity, consciousness, freedom, presence, bliss, all of the above. If you notice any points of tightness or stiffness, I'd like you to bring your focus particularly to those points. Locate those points as if you're taking mental post-it notes and just popping them on the tight points of your body. Taking a mental note, going, I see you tension, hello. Same with any mental tightness, I see you anxiety, hey. Give her a name if you like. Mine's called Joan. Hey Joan, how you going? Acknowledge. Reminding yourself that you are not your sensations and you are not your feelings. They are simply passing experiences. What is emotion? It's energy and motion. It's always moving. It's always passing through you. As soon as we attach a narrative, a thought to that energy and motion, we start to identify with it. So take that back seat with me right now and just observe. What's going on for you right now? How comfortable or uncomfortable does it feel to sit in awareness, to just watch yourself? Some of you might have fidgeted 10 times already, and that's all okay. Don't get frustrated at yourself. Just notice your tendencies. This in itself is an exercise, building your attention span. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Let's begin to loosen that tension a little bit, then we're going to move. Yeah, you're doing really, really well. So keep taking light, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Really hone in on those points of tightness. And considering today's theme is expansion, let's inhale and let's literally imagine those points of tension expanding. If it's your shoulder, imagine your shoulder joint expanding as you inhale. As you exhale, I want you to imagine that tension dissipating. You could imagine it as water flowing off of your body onto the floor. You can imagine it as sand dissolving, dissipating. You could imagine it as dust floating away. However you like to picture it, or however you like to imagine or feel it or sense it, whatever your sense of choice is, allow that tension to dissolve, to let go on the exhale. And I really want you to start thinking about extending your exhalation at this point, taking a really long, slow exhalation. Here we're stimulating the vagus nerve. It's in the back of your neck. It runs all the way down your spinal cord. It influences so many different systems of the body. But mainly it's associated with the autonomic nervous system, our fight or flight, or our rest and digest. By stimulating that vagus nerve, you're sending a message to body and mind that it's safe to relax and it's safe to breathe. Literally giving your body permission to release that tension. Tension is a protection mechanism of the body. When we get panicked, when we get stressed, what happens? Everything constricts. Our breathing speeds up. Our heart rate increases. We get hotter. We start to sweat. Our mind races. Everything is tight and fast. What happens when we stop and breathe and relax and slow down? Not only do we become a little bit warmer, rather than that heat, that rush, we feel a warmth like a cuddle. We melt. The breathing slows. The pupils dilate. Time slows down. Saliva increases in the mouth. Blood flow resumes in its optimal form. Notice how much tension you can release for the next 3 to 5 rounds of breath as you extend that exhale and really making expansive motions with every inhale and letting that tension resolve with every exhale. Dissolving to resolve that tension in the body. 3 to 5 rounds of breath. Finishing the breath you're on. And when you're ready, placing your hands on your lower 2 ribs, taking a moment just to really find where they are. A lot of people put their hands a little bit too low, associating that with the diaphragm. The diaphragm is placed underneath the lower 2 ribs, so you would be right, but I want you to really focus on those ribs. Yeah, ladies, your thumbs will literally be at the bottom of your breasts, okay? Perfect. Now, as we inhale, let's start to really hone in on that expansion. Inhale, start to lift your hands up ever so slightly as you inhale, expanding your ribs a little bit more, making more space. As you exhale through the nose, see how slowly you can bring your hands down, allowing that air to slowly leave your nose. And you'll notice a natural sinking of the pelvis. Let that happen. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, lifting the hands. Lifting the hands almost up and away as if you're pulling the ribs apart, but as if they're almost expanding by themselves, which they are as a result of the breath. It's a synchronistic motion. Exhale, let your hands move down as your lower ribs naturally contract. And notice, are your ribs moving for the air to travel in? Or is the air traveling in and your ribs moving as a result? Just be curious, which order is it going in for you? Release. For these last two breaths, notice if you can do the first one, the former. Making space in the body, lifting those hands, expanding those ribs to then let the air flow inwards. And you might notice that the ribs actually expand that little bit more from making space in the first place. Lower those hands and notice if that naturally encourages the breath to start to flow out your nose without you having any control over it. One more time, lift upwards, expand. Let's take it one step further now. Open and expand your hands this time as you inhale. Make your chest really, really big, really, really wide, but keep your breath nice and light and subtle. Exhale. Imagine you're holding a big beach ball. Curve your spine. Bring your hands in front of your belly button. Contract, chin to chest. Open and expand. You might even want to make a little arch in the back and lift your chin to the sky. Exhale, curve the spine. Enjoy the natural rocking of the pelvis. Enjoy the massage of the internal organs. Inhale, open up. Let's take a slight moment of suspension here at the top of the breath before we exhale and let that air gently, slowly flow out of the nose. Notice as the air leaves your nose, if there's a slight pause after the exhalation before you allow that air to enter your lungs once again. Allowing your movement to be guided by the natural rhythm of your breath rather than you feeling that you have to have any control. Just allowing yourself to flow with the natural impulses and urges of your body. Lovely, guys. Let's go one more time. Make space. Inhale. Allow that air, that energy to travel to those extremities, the ends of the fingertips. Exhale. Hug that big beach ball. Bring the chin to the chest. Really, really nice. This time we're going to inhale. We're going to gather all the way up. We're going to make space vertically now down the side bodies. Lovely. Exhale. Bring the hands back down. Sink a little bit deeper into your hips and pelvis. Pause at the bottom for a brief moment before you inhale, really expanding the lower ribs now as you let all that air enter your lungs. Enjoy that stretch at the top and exhale. Allow your sit bones to sink, relax a little bit deeper into the floor. Slight pause after the exhalation and inhale once again. Lift up. Good moment of suspension and then let that air leave the body. Release. One more time. Inhale, gather. As your hands go up, the air travels deeper and deeper into the body, perhaps all the way down to the pelvis at this point. Enjoy the stretch at the top. Exhale, bring those hands down. Beautiful. Really, really nice. Take the right arm, lift it up and over. We're just going to take a gentle side stretch, gently taking your fingertips of the left hand over to support yourself on the floor, opening your heart, opening your shoulders. And let's start to open the door. As you inhale, bend your elbow, twist open to the ceiling. As you exhale, allow yourself to fall deeper into that side stretch, elongating the exhale once again. Two more. Inhale, open up. Exhale deeper into the side stretch. One more, open up. Exhale, expand your side body, lengthen, relax. Good. Allow yourself to come through the center into this forward folded position. Allow your chin to rest on your chest and gently roll up. Good. Allow your next inhale to carry your left arm up and over, taking that side stretch on the other side, opening your shoulders, opening your side body. Good. On your next exhale, bend your elbow, twist open to the ceiling. And sink deeper into that side stretch. Inhale, open the door, twist. Exhale, side stretch. Last time, inhale, open the door. Exhale, side stretch. Good, same thing, rotate around to that central position, but allow yourself to hang, allow yourself to feel this inward energy for a moment, to hold yourself in this rounded position. Beautiful, feeling that lovely stretch in the back of the neck, making space in the back body. Beautiful. Last little bit of movement here before we come back to focusing solely on the breath. Let's inhale, let's spread our arms once again. Let's just take some gentle 5-second breath holds to invigorate the body a little bit more. Exhale, give yourself a big hug. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. This time we're going to exhale all the way. We're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing chin to chest. At the end of your exhale, hold your breath for 1. Keep sinking. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, other arm on top. Give yourself a big hug. Inhale, grow taller through your spine. Exhale, sink down into that inward curved position. It should feel quite natural. And pause the breath. Keep sinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more each side. Inhale, open the arms wide. Expand the lower ribs. Exhale, right hand on top. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, sink down into that curved position with the spine, chin to chest. Hold the breath, keep sinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. Inhale, expand. Exhale, other arm on top. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, sink into that forward curved position. Contract. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay in this position. Keep breathing. And let's just take a few breaths here and really focus on finding that expansion in the back body. Inhaling, bottom, middle, upper back. Exhaling, sinking a little bit deeper into that contracted position, and you might feel yourself naturally undulating a little bit in your spine, slightly rising as you inhale through the spine, sinking a little bit deeper as you exhale. Let's do 2 more of those breaths. Inhale, lower back, middle back, upper back. Exhale, slowly sinking down. Last time. Inhale, can you send the breath all the way down to the pelvis region? Expand lower back, middle back, upper back. Exhale down and allow yourself to be held in this position for a moment. You might want to take some gentle sways from side to side. Or you might just want to hang out here for a second, holding yourself. It's very rare that we allow ourselves to be truly held in our own presence, knowing that we are enough, that we're in a safe space, that we don't need to outsource comfort, that we actually have access to wholeness, to all that comfort that we need within ourselves. Good. Release your hands, guys. Come back to that seated position. Allow the spine to grow tall once again. And let's begin to regulate the breath. So I'd invite you to close down the eyes at this point, to really look inward, to come back to that inner awareness, really noticing the shifts in your sensations. I don't know about you, but my body feels like I am floating. Yeah, Abby's nodding. I feel as if my body has literally almost expanded, but in a way that there's almost like another layer to my body. I don't know if anyone else is having a similar experience. It's like this room. Like my whole body has almost dilated, not just my eyes, my pupils, but everything has expanded that little bit more. Like when you pour water out or water spills onto a table, right? That's how my body feels right now. That like. So allow your eyes to close and allow you to access your inner experience, whatever that is. Your experience is not my experience. My experience is not your experience. Each are as valid as the other. So just witness, what are your sensations in this moment? Are there any thoughts and feelings coming up? Sometimes when we make space in the body, when we give the mind a chance to quieten, things that have been residing, that we've tucked away, might be coming up. Sit with those, allow them to be there, welcome them even. But remember that you are not your feelings, and you are not your thoughts, and you are not your sensations. You're the spectator, not the participant of your experience. Yeah? You are the you, not the I. So allow yourself to just watch from a place of non-judgment, from a place of expansiveness, lightness, and openness, like the curiosity of a child. Ignorance is bliss in this moment. Really approaching this practice from that beginner's mind, as if every breath were your first breath, as if every sensation was the first time you'd ever experienced that particular sensation in your body. Let's begin to regulate the breath a little bit more, to find a little more expansiveness in the mind, to increase that blood flow, to allow our bodies and minds to settle into an even deeper state of relaxation as we come to wind down from our day. So I'd invite you from this place of expansive awareness to start to make your breathing just a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, a little bit gentler, and a little bit quieter. Subtle breathing, natural subtle breathing. Same as a plant, especially these plants I'm surrounded by right now. If you overwater them, and trust me, I've done it, they wilt, they begin to die. If you water them too little, they dry out. But if you get that balance just right, watering them just enough, and then leaving them to their growth, to their experience, then they turn into these beautiful expansive plants that are continuously growing. But there's always conflict. They always need that water, but not too much and not too little. It's the same with the breath. Without breath, we wouldn't be alive. But a lot of us are breathing a little bit too much, and it tends to actually deplete our energy. Of course, if we breathe too little, it's not going to be very helpful either. Same as if we don't drink enough water. We dry up. So can you find that equilibrium that is perfect for you in this moment? That subtle way of breathing that is completely effortless, completely in flow. Perhaps making your breathing so light that the small hairs in your nostrils do not move. That if someone was watching you breathe, it would look as if you weren't breathing at all. The act itself was so effortless. Notice how this may differ from the way you breathe on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Just notice. Notice any shifts in the sensations as you lighten your breathing. You might feel a little bit warmer, especially in your hands and your feet. You might feel some tingling. You might feel some increased saliva in the mouth. Allow all those sensations to be there. It's just a sign you've come into that parasympathetic state of rest and digest. Let's come back to that focus of deepening the breath, remembering that a deep breath does not mean a big breath. Simply finding a little bit more expansiveness in the lower ribs. Now that we've loosened the body, notice, is it a little bit easier for that breath to flow freely in that downward direction, expanding the lower ribs as you inhale, contracting relaxing, grounding as you exhale. And can you bring that effortlessness into this deep diaphragmatic breathing? Beautiful, guys. Keep going. Keep expanding and contracting the lower ribs like a wave. Noticing if this is something you're consciously controlling, or if it's something you're simply witnessing that perhaps you didn't bring your attention to before. And if you are trying to control your breathing, that's okay, it's very normal. See if you can let go. And see if the breath continues without you having to hold on too tight or try to control the way you're breathing. Notice if letting go allows you to bring more effortlessness to the way you're breathing. Let's take a deep breath in together. And a long, slow breath out. One more time, deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Perhaps even placing one heart in the center of your chest. One hand in the center of your chest, not one heart. Same thing, I suppose. Now, every time we inhale, we're going to imagine that heart space expanding, making space for all the love in our lives and all the love of the universe, that collective, universal love that we so often don't pay too much attention to, that often gets clouded by all the goings-ons in the world, the news, the gossip, the stories, the narratives. A little bit like clouds in the sky, we know that that blue is always there, that we love to see that clear blue, but sometimes we can't see it at all because there are so many clouds. It's exactly the same thing in this space. It's always there, that feeling of wholeness, bliss, universal love, connectedness to nature, to yourself. Sometimes we need to clear the clouds just to come back to it. So let's imagine that heart space expanding as we inhale and emanating a beautiful white light as we exhale. You might even want to imagine that white light coming through those spaces in between your fingers if you have your hand on your chest. All right, following my count, inhale together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Exhale. Release that light. 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little pause. Inhale. 1, 2. Expand. 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Regulate your breathing. Let your hand float down to rest on your knees. Notice that space in the center of your chest. Notice if actually it may have been a little bit tighter than you first realized, now that you have such a feeling of expansiveness and openness there. Notice any tingling, notice any vibration in that space, any images, pictures coming into your mind. Again, just observing your experience for exactly what it is from that beginner's mind. Taking your experience, this present moment, for exactly what it is. Beautiful. We're going to move on to a little bit of an expansive breath now to invigorate, but to really bring you into a nice deep state of relaxation. What we're doing is taking 8 teaspoons of air in through the nose, 8 sips of air. And make sure they're nice and small so you can last the entire 8. And then we'll take a very, very, very long, slow breath out, really prolonging that exhalation again to stimulate that vagus nerve to come into rest and digest. Now, I really want you to allow your entire body to completely surrender with this exhale. We're only going to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, just going at your own rhythm, at your own pace, but just exploring this modality of breathing, noticing how much slowing the breath down to this slow pace. You're more than halving your breathing rate per minute, noticing how that affects your body and mind. So let's come back to the moment. Let's come back to our awareness and let's take a deep breath in together. Long, slow breath out, relax. Closing down the eyes once again, if you open them for a brief moment. Inhale, expand. Exhale, relax, and start to go into that pattern once you're ready. 8 sips of air and slow exhale. And we're just going to explore this for 2 to 3 minutes at your own rhythm, at your own pace. Beautiful. As you're sipping the air, expanding those lower ribs a little bit more with every sip, really continuing to send that air nice and deep and really relaxing, contracting those ribs on that long, slow exhale. Good, guys. Keeping it really, really light. Now you might be doing it anyway, but notice if you're tempted to take a slight pause after that long exhalation and really go with that, pausing the breath until you feel that urge to take those sips of air in once again. This isn't a breath hold per se, just a suspension of the breath, a moment of stillness before we go into the next round of breath. Explore that. I want you to notice if you can make your exhale a little bit longer now for me, really prolonging that exhale even more, noticing if you can make it 2, 3 counts longer perhaps, just letting it eke out just a little bit more, keeping that relaxation throughout the body, allowing yourself to sink deeper into a state of relaxation with every exhale. Couple more rounds. Well done, guys. Last one, finishing the one you're on. Good, regulating your breathing, observing any of those shifts. Observing the natural pattern your breathing comes back to as you regulate your breathing. Is it a little bit slower? Is it a little bit more effortless? Is it a little bit more expansive in the lower ribs? Staring into the dark space behind those closed eyelids. Noticing the width of that space, the depth of that space. What do you see when you look into that space? You might see a void, a nothingness. If that's the case, sit with that. It's a heavily desired state by many people doing this work. Once we find that void, that emptiness, we become a vehicle for infinite possibility, right? Anything can happen when there's emptiness. If there's something there, also notice it. Just notice it. Allow it to be there. Don't try to draw any logic from it or attach anything to it, but just notice it for exactly what it is. Being curious about the ponderings of your own mind. The more free rein we give our own mind, the more we allow ourselves to actually explore our own potential. Very often we give ourselves a set of rules or a set of standards to adhere to, and we cut ourselves off from a lot of our experience, also from a lot of our inner intelligence. Can you give yourself a little bit more leeway to just explore? I'd invite you in this moment to take a lying down position if it feels good. If you feel like you'd like to stay seated, that's fine. We're just going to finish off with a little bit of a visualization to end the practice this evening. And it can be really nice to do it lying down. And once you've found your comfortable position, make sure your hands are open either side of you, either face down or palms facing up, whichever feels more good. Or more right for you, I should say. Coming back to light, slow, deep breathing. And just for a moment, I'd like you to focus on the most relaxed part of your body right now. Can you identify which part of your body feels most relaxed and surrendered in this moment? Be really specific here. It might be your right shoulder, your left elbow, or your big toe. Focus in on that part of you. And I'd like you to see if you can surrender that part of your body a little bit more, just that part. Can you surrender the most relaxed part of your body even more into the space beneath you, letting go? Can you then allow that sense of relaxation to travel through the rest of your body like a wave, allowing that relaxation to completely take over your entire body and mind? Letting go, surrendering, and then surrendering some more. Release. And just for a moment, let go, see what happens. See where you can go when you completely surrender to everything that is, to your breath, to the expansiveness of your mind and your experience. And in this space, I'd like you to imagine lifting out of your body, looking at yourself lying on that bed or that floor or that sofa, looking around your room, noticing what you notice, keeping that breath flowing really lightly, slowly and deeply, holding that vision of that outer body experience in your mind. Let's go one step further. Decide how you're going to leave your house, maybe through the window, maybe down the stairs, through the front door. And I'd like you to float or fly, or however you choose to be, just outside of your house, on your street, and notice. What can you see? What can you notice? What can you sense? What can you feel? What can you hear? Just notice. Deep breaths, subtle breaths, effortless breathing. One step further now. Go a little bit higher. On your next inhale, float yourself a little bit higher to float above your town. If you live in a village, float above your village. How many houses are there? What do the streets look like? The cars might start to look a little bit smaller now. The trees might start to look a little bit more like potted plants. Notice what you notice. Notice the colors, the details, the vibrancy. Looking down at your area from this angle. Deep breaths. Open body. Surrender. Another deep, gentle inhale. Rise a little bit higher. Float above the country now, wherever you are in the world. Float a little bit higher, perhaps even passing through some clouds as you go a little bit higher into the sky. Feeling that heat on your back as you get a little bit closer to the sun, peering down at the entire country. What does it look like? What can you see through the clouds? How small do things that once seemed so big look from this place? How does your body feel in the most expansive space that we know, that is the sky? Limitless, expansive, never ending. Notice your sensations. Deep, slow, light breaths, surrendering to the experience. Another deep breath in, float a little bit higher, finally now, leaving the world as we know it, going into outer space, floating above the entire planet. Imagining the world as that globe, that circular figure of matter, of energy, gently circling around in front of you. And noticing how small things that maybe you hold a lot of significance to look from this place. Perhaps a narrative, a situation, a person that you are holding great weight on, any sort of situation or circumstance that you can't control. How big does it look from this place? I take a guess that it looks very, very small. feeling all the sensations that come from levitating in space, looking down at the planet, looking at the insignificance of all that is within the planet, but the significance of each and every part at the same time. Without each and every part, none of it would exist. But none of it exists in its own entity. It is all part of a wider collective. And everyone needs everything to survive. Taking a few more breaths here, pondering this wide, expansive perspective. Noticing the sensations in your body. And when you feel ready, using every long, slow exhalation to start to come back down. Coming back into the ether, into the earth's atmosphere. Coming back into your country. With the next breath, coming back into your town or village or city. And finally, gently floating back into your house, coming back to that space, seeing yourself lying there, completely surrendered. Noticing how it feels to look at yourself from this outer perspective. Viewing that physical body that we reside in. That body that carries us through each and every day. That outer shell, which often holds so much significance, but which actually is a very small part of ourselves. And when you're ready, exhaling, gently coming back into your body. Gently starting to wiggle fingers and toes. Noticing that energy flowing through your body once again. Starting to move in any way that feels good in this moment. Staying in your experience. Taking any stretches that feel good. And as you do that, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling with any sounds that feel good in this moment of or anything that feels good. One more time, inhale. Exhale, release your experience, staying with this present moment. Releasing any attachment to anything you just experienced. And gently, softly, starting to blink your eyes open from wherever you are. Coming back into your space. Either staying in this lying down position if you want to enjoy that feeling for a little bit longer of expansiveness, of openness, of total surrender, or gently coming onto one side and starting to work your way back up into a seated position. Just taking your time, noticing where you are compared to where you were at the beginning of this experience. And just coming back. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thanks for taking time to honor your own bodies and minds and to take on that panoramic perspective that often we can forget about. We can get so caught up in the little things, right? In those little niggling thoughts or anything really that we decide to attach to, and it can just be like a little nit, can't it? Just niggling at you. So it's wonderful to just come back to the breath, to come back to the expansiveness, to come back to the incredible power of your mind to create a new experience, to create new sensations, to shift your emotional state and ultimately shift your response to whatever you're being fed in terms of stimuli, right? Good. I hope you enjoyed. There's going to be a session of these every single month at the beginning of every single month, the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Please tell your friends, please tell your family, it's free. Let's get as many people breathing together as soon as possible. I truly believe when people breathe together, something magic just happens, even if it's online. It's the most universal language on the planet, and it just brings people together in such an authentic, beautiful way. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, and thank you so much. See you next month.